Hello everyone and welcome to Career Launcher. So I hope you can see the thumbnail and we are talking about the recent decision that may be taken by Mr. Donald Trump on India or actually the countries with which Russia, like countries which are buying oil or any other product from Russia. So basically maybe we will also witness 500% tariff from USA and what exactly it is from Russia. We'll be discussing it in today's class. And I'm sure you must be aware, last year also we have seen 50% tariffs. So first instance, he imposed 25% tariffs and then later 25% more tariffs. So in total 50% tariffs. And now today I was seeing the news that with respect to Iran also, Mr. Donald Trump has decided to put 25% tax. That also we will discuss, and maybe that also is going to impact India. So we are going to basically discuss about the idea of tariff and why it is imposed, how it comes from, like the free trade agreements. We will discuss about WTO, also World Trade Organization, because it has also some rules regarding like tariffs, anti-dumping duties, countervailing duties, etc. We are going to discuss that as well. I think I'm audible, visible. Let me check. Anti-dumping duties. Okay, fine. I think I'm audible, visible. If yes, then please write yes. If everything is fine, just write yes in the comments so that we can move on. Begin with the class. Am I audible, visible? Is everything fine? Okay, so first of all, if you have not subscribed it, please subscribe to the channel, go to the live section. And yesterday we had a class on US attacking Venezuela and capturing the president of Venezuela. So if you have not watched this class, please go and watch it. This is also very, very important because it was very much in the news. Yes, so let us talk about this tariff. So first of all, let's talk something about Mr. Donald Trump. I'm sure you must be aware he is currently the 47th president of USA. He assumed the charge last year on 28th January 2025. And this is his second term. Okay. And before that, we had seen his first term as the President of United States of America as the 45th US President from 20th January 2017 to 20th January 2021. Okay. And 46th President was Joe Biden. And here is Trump, the 47th President. So he's actually from Republican Party. I'm sure you must be aware how many parties are there. Or can you please tell me the two prominent parties in USA? Two prominent party. In USA. Generally USA is considered as two-party system. Republican and Democrats, right? So he actually belongs to Republican. So there are two parties. One is called as Democrat, to which Joe Biden belonged to. Joe Biden. Then we have Barack Obama. I'm sure you must have heard his name. From Republican Party, we have Donald Trump. Then there was George Bush. So these were from Republican Party. Let me write Republican here. Okay. And what is the party symbol of Republican and what is the party symbol of Democrat? Anyone? Roosevelt was from which party? I think Democrat. Let me check it since you are asking. Roosevelt Party. No, Roosevelt was from Republican. Later on founded his own party. Yes, not Democrat. Take it. Okay, so let's talk about this further. So रिपब्लिकन पार्टी का जो सिंबल है वो क्या है? एलिफेंट है ना. एंड डेमोक्रेट पार्टी का सिंबल क्या है? डेमोक्रेट डोंकी है ना. सो ये सब पता होना चाहिए, बेसिक चीजें. You should have an idea about that. So we are talking about this. Donald Trump, little bit like in his first presidency, he imposed travel ban on 7 Muslim countries. expanded Mexico-US border. Many things he did actually. And in his second, when he came to power second time, actually, he actually made a separate department called as DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. And who was heading this DOGE? So Department of Government Efficiency was supposed to do mass layoff, means fire from the job, and not only like private job, but they're talking about government jobs, so that to reduce the expenditures. So that was one of his decision. And DOGE, yes, it was initially controlled by Elon Musk from I think January till March, April. Then after, Elon Musk and Donald Trump had some frictions. So उसके बाद जो है, he started imposing tariffs on almost all the countries. Especially, he had the biggest target was China, then India and such countries. Okay, we will discuss the reason why he started putting so much tariffs and what is the reason behind it, because that is also very, very important. Now, it is considered as the highest level tariff since Great Depression. Okay, so Great Depression happened in 1929 between World War I and World War II, where actually the New York Stock Exchange got collapsed. And after that, USA had imposed huge amount of tariff. So since 1929 till recently, like till last year, there were not much tariffs. But after Great Depression, the one of the biggest tariffs that were imposed were by Mr. Donald Trump last year. So we'll discuss about that, why he's putting so much tariffs on countries like China, India, and many other countries. But they are mainly targeting China, and he's mainly targeting China as far as tariffs are concerned, and India and other countries also. Okay, and he passed one big beautiful act where actually in one law he actually had promised multiple things before the election. So he tried to implement those laws, those I would say promises in one law, and that's called as one big beautiful law. And with this, for this we had done a class last year also. You can search this on YouTube and you will get this video. Okay, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about, and you can if you are interested, he was born in New York City. अच्छा, आपको पता है, you should like, if you want to become a US president, you should be a born citizen and not naturalized. Means, for example, let's say you are born somewhere else and now you become the US, and after that, let's say you took the citizenship of USA, then you cannot become the US citizen. You should be born on the soil of USA to become the US president. That's called as born. But that is not the case in India. In India, if you're born somewhere else and you later on acquired Indian citizenship, you can be eligible for being a president or a prime minister. But that is not the case in America. Okay, that's what you should know. Now, let's talk about that. Let's talk about Trump's tariff on India. Mr. Donald Trump's tariff on India. So basically, this was actually asked recently in exam. Yes, therefore Elon Musk cannot become president. Yes, CLAT, definitely you're right. Elon Musk was born, I think, in some African countries, and that's why he cannot become. Yes. So what happened was recently, last year, I would say, after he became the president in January, he imposed an initial tariff of somewhere around 25%. ये पता नहीं कैसे लिखा है AI वालों ने. So initially he imposed a tariff of 25%. Then later on, further 25% tariff were imposed. So now after that, it became 50%. So this question was asked, the CLAT exam this December, that initially Donald Trump imposed how much tax? So the answer was 25%, or tariff, I would say. And then further 25% were added later on. So it became 50%. And why Donald Trump is imposing tariffs? Because one of the main reason is he's pressurizing India not to buy oil from Russia. Because I'm sure you must be aware, Russia-Ukraine war is happening. And of course, USA is on the Ukraine side. So USA is doing like building pressure on countries which are doing trade with Russia to stop doing trade. So he actually put the tariffs on Indian products. Now, what is problematic with tariffs? You have to understand one thing, why tariff is considered as bad. For example, let's say from India, from Surat, I'm just giving example. Surat is famous for jewelry manufacturing, diamond cutting, etc. Jewelries and golds are getting exported to USA. So, for example, if the USA is not imposing, let's say the tariff is 0%. In that case, let's say the product is, let's say this is a jewelry, let's say this is a gold ring. I'm just giving example. And let's say its cost is like, I don't know, but let's say $100 or $200. Now, if the tariff is 0, this will be sold in $200 or plus, let's say whatever is the transportation charge. Let's say $10 the transportation charge. TCM writing transportation charge. So it will be sold in $210. But if tariff is imposed, let's say tariff of 50% is imposed, what will happen? This $200 plus $100 of tariff charge will be also happen. So 200 plus $100 plus $10 is transport charge. So it will become $310. So if you impose a tariff of 50%, the Indian products will become America. Is it clear? If USA imposes tariff on Indian exports, the prices of Indian products will become costly. And when it becomes costly, it becomes lesser competitive. Means less chance of being sold. That is what you should be knowing. I hope it is clear. Is it clear? You got the reason why tariffs are harmful. If India is exporting product to America and America has decided to put tariffs, it is harmful for Indian exports. Is it clear? Yes or no? If no, then please write no. I will explain it further again. ये समझ में आया कि जब इंडिया एक्सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं प्रोडक्ट और उसमें टैरिफ लगा दिया जाएगा तो वो चीज वहां महंगी मिलेगी यूएस में. जब यूएस में महंगी बिकेगी तो लोग खरीदेंगे नहीं, कोई और जगह से खरीदेंगे या यूएस का ही प्रोडक्ट खरीदेंगे, तो उससे इंडिया का प्रोडक्ट सेल नहीं होगा. Yes, Riddhi Best, that is hurting American buyers as well. Yes, you're right. So, like, that's true, absolutely true. There are cases where actually the American buyers have also got hurt. ये बात सही है आपकी. So they can say, like, they will say, okay, we will arrange from some other place, or we will ensure that domestic product should be there. But the idea is many of the things that comes from India cannot be replaced with US products. है ना? तो वो चीज है, you are true that it's true. You are right. There are cases where American buyers have suffered. ठीक है, अब देखो इंडिया के लिए क्यों नुकसान है. It is true that even the common people of America will suffer, but why it is bad for India? So the will not be export up to the level as they were exporting earlier. जितना पहले बेच रहे थे अब उतना नहीं बेच पाएंगे, बिकॉज महंगा हो जाएगा. तो जाहिर सी बात है, उसी को तो कहते हैं ट्रेड बैरियर. ही होता है ना ट्रेड बैरियर, टैरिफ एंड नॉन टैरिफ बैरियर. तो एक होता है टैरिफ के तरीके, टैरिफ लगा दो. नॉन टैरिफ बैरियर में बहुत सारा रूल बना दो, इतना मुश्किल कर दो कि एक्सपोर्ट ही नहीं हो पाए. नॉन टैरिफ बैरियर you manipulated the laws in such a way that export and import becomes difficult. A tariff barrier means you are putting taxes, ठीक है, import duties like that. तो इसी को तो बैरियर कहते हैं. तो फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट क्या होता है? इसी को ऑपोजिट होता है. When we say free trade agreement, the two countries have signed free trade agreement. They are removing tariff and non-tariff barriers. Tariff barrier means import taxes, and non-tariff barrier means you have made the laws. If you make the law so difficult, even if there is no tax, still it will become difficult to export. मतलब आप हर चीज का बहुत सारा रूल्स लगा दिए कि ऐसे नहीं होगा, वैसे नहीं होगा, ये नहीं होगा, तब हम नहीं लेंगे. मतलब इन्होंने रूल बना दिया कि आपके अंदर जरा सा भी डिफेक्ट होगा प्रोडक्ट का हम रिजेक्ट कर देंगे. समथिंग लाइक दैट. सो दैट इज आल्सो अ ट्रेड बैरियर, इवन अ स्मॉल क्लॉज, है ना. सो दैट्स व्हाई कंट्रीज साइन फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट. व्हाई इज इट WTO doing anything? We are coming to WTO, but again the same thing, that the issue with is when there is a WTO dispute resolution, what is the problem? You have to go to the tribunal, the court, like dispute resolution settlement body, a sort of a court. So of course the Americans have the Americans have more expert lawyers as compared to Indians. So we have seen एक बहुत famous case हुआ था, solar panel case करके, बहुत पहले की बात है, almost 10 years back. That also India lost because of course like Americans have more expert lawyers teams etc. ठीक है, तो इसलिए भी अगर even if we go WTO, I think not much is going to happen. वैसे we will discuss little bit about WTO in today's class, तो हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे. खैर, तो ये बात हो गई टैरिफ्स की. Now, what is the reason? तो एक दो रीजन लाइक व्हाई डोनाल्ड ट्रम्प इज इम्पोजिंग tariffs on India. So one reason is Russia-Ukraine war. तो मैंने आपको दिखाया भी था कहाँ चला गया वो रशिया. हाँ. So if you have not watched the class, you can watch this. You'll get to know the basic idea behind Russia-Ukraine war. Okay. Now I'm sure at least you should be aware that this is Russia. Like this one huge one is Russia. Okay. This one is Ukraine. So when the Russia-Ukraine war, which started somewhere around in February 2022, since then, Ukraine is supported by most all the European powers and America as well. All the Western countries are towards like Ukraine side. Now, India has not explicitly said that, okay, in Russia-Ukraine war, we are supporting Russia. We have not said like this. We are actually trying to convey the message that yes, war should be stopped. We are appreciating the peace movement, etc. But India has been buying oil, especially after Russia-Ukraine war, more. Okay. So जैसे अगर आप देखोगे कहाँ चला गया from 0.2% to 35 to 40%, India's import of Russian oil increased after Russia-Ukraine war. ठीक है. पहले तो हम ना के बराबर लेते थे, negligible 0.2% था, 35 to 40% we are buying from Russia. So जब when we are buying a crude oil, है ना, and it is at a cheaper rate or whatever you can say, and it is being refined in, let's say, Gujarat's Jamnagar factory and other factories, because we have huge refineries. है ना, जैसे Jamnagar factory है Reliance की, world's largest factory है. I'm just giving an example. And then it is being exported to other countries. So crude oil we are getting cheaper, but our companies are getting cheaper. Although like for domestic purposes, the oil prices have not decreased in our country. But yes, the crude oil that we are buying for refinery purposes, that has reduced so that the refineries, like they are getting at an affordable cost and or a cheaper cost. So that is why it was actually in the news that we are buying more Russian oil after Russia-Ukraine war. So Donald Trump is putting pressure that anybody doing trade with Russia, I will impose tariffs after tariff. Why? To deter that you should stop doing trade with Russia. This is actually called a sanction, a sort of a sanction. इसी को कहते हैं sanction, embargo. That Donald Trump is telling it, pressurizing India that if you buy Russian oil, we will stop, we'll put tariffs. Okay, so that was the reason. Another reason was that cited was actually trade deficit. ये भी दिखाते हैं. Trade deficit मतलब ये होता है. Actually, the thing is, we export more. Let's say we export products of 100 rupees. So USA export to us product of 80 rupees. So we are getting 20 rupees surplus. That's called as trade surplus. So India has trade surplus. So America has 20 rupees trade deficit. Is any country with Russia? Yes, China. China is doing trade with Russia. I know. And there are some other countries, but prominently India and China, the two main countries that are buying oil, Russian oil, etc. ठीक है, खैर. तो अब उसमें यह है कि trade deficit is also not like, है ना, imports of एक तो ये हो गया कि 35 to 40% crude oil we are buying. Another reason is actually is trade deficit. We'll discuss about it. तो होता क्या है, चाइना से एंड इंडिया से USA has trade deficit. Means when India-US trades are happening, India is having trade surplus. So we are exporting more to US than US exporting to us. So USA has trade deficit with India. उल्टा अगर हम बोलेंगे तो ऐसे होगा. Same is the case with China. China is exporting more to US than reverse, vice versa. That's why US has trade deficit with China and China has trade surplus with US. Is it clear? Yes, on match. Trade deficit and trade surplus. Is it clear? Why started Russia to give cheap oil? Because Russia पे बहुत सारे sanction लगे थे, Anshtel. So Russia was not able to, since USA had imposed a lot of sanctions, and Russia has huge amount of natural gas as well. ठीक है. तो Russia also had not much buyers left. एक ये भी रीजन है. दूसरी बात है कि we have actually very good relations. One of the best friend of India since 1947 till now is actually considered is Russia. ठीक है. मतलब earlier before 1991 it was called as Soviet Union or USSR. So this is what generally like foreign policy experts says that one of the best friends. है ना? Do European countries still buy indirectly? Yes, they are buying. I'm not sure about directly, but yes, indirectly still they're buying. जैसे ऐसा कहा जा रहा था कि जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल वी आर बाइंग रशियन ऑयल, रशियन क्रूड ऑयल मतलब कच्चा तेल है ना, ठीक है. इट इज बीइंग रिफाइंड इन इंडिया. यस, एंड नाउ दिस इज एक्सपोर्टेड टू यूरोपियन कंट्रीज. ऐसा भी हो रहा है. Who was the first president? Please check it. अभी हमको ध्यान नहीं आ रहा है. फर्स्ट प्रेसिडेंट किसकी बात, सोवियत यूनियन के बारे में बता रहे हो, 1991 वाला. उस टाइम पर गोर्बाचेव थे मेन जो हेड ऑफ द स्टेट थे, मतलब एक तरह से चाइनीज लाइक रशियन कम्युनिस्ट पार्टी के हेड थे 1991 में, माइकाइल गोर्बाचेव. यू गॉट इट? ठीक है. सो इनडायरेक्टली इवन यूरोपियन कंट्रीज आर एक्चुअली गेटिंग बेनिफिटेड फ्रॉम रशियन ऑयल. ठीक है. So one of the reason when Donald Trump came to power, he said, I'm not happy with trade deficit with China and India. Why are we exporting less to India and China? We should be exporting more. Okay. So that's why America, like Donald Trump started putting pressure. Okay. तो ये अब देखो ये बात आ रही 500% टैरिफ की. Now Trump is saying, recent days में we have seen Trump is actually talking about oil is considered as black gold, that if you are buying, telling it to any country that if you are buying oil from Russia, we will impose up to 500% tariff. Okay, so they are going to deciding to pass a law in this regard as well. Now the thing is, India is 85% dependent on oil imports. So whatever is the total need, 85% we are dependent on oil, imported oil, I would say, because we have only 15%. We have some domestic refineries, let's say, for example, near Mumbai, we have some in Assam and some other places. But still, we have not enough, so 85% we import. So we are very much dependent, and this is natural. We cannot change it, because the oil and natural gas actually is a gift of God. So that is what the main thing is. ये बात हो गई है ना. So from a market share of just 0.2% India's import basket before the start of Russia-Ukraine war, है ना. इससे पहले हम लोग सबसे ज्यादा मोस्टली वी यूज्ड टू बाय फ्रॉम इराक मोस्टली एंड सऊदी अरब. So number one supplier of India was Iraq and then Saudi Arab, but now it has become Russia. Almost 36 to 40% of the crude oil, especially after beginning of Russia-Ukraine war. Okay, so USA has put 25% and then 25% tariff, then 25 plus 25 is 50% tariff. Okay. Now, what happened was, I'm sure you must be aware, Sergio Gore has been, he was appointed, I think in November, as US ambassador to India. The official announcement happened, but recently he arrived, a few days back, 12 January ko. Aaj kitna tarikh hai? Today is 13. Yesterday he took the charge as US ambassador to India. Sergio Gore. Please remember his name because this is important now. And yesterday it was in the news. He was giving some speech which was there in the news. If you are watching it, you must be aware of it. So ahead of US ambassador to arrival to India, Trump okays 500% tariff bill on Russian oil. Okay. So इन्होंने भी कहा, the same ambassador, the US ambassador to India, when he came, he said that first priority is India's Russian oil import is a top priority. Ending. And if we have to ensure that India should stop buying Russian oil. This is what US ambassador to India said. Yesterday he arrived in India as a US ambassador. And उसी के context में ये बात कही, and USA withdraws from ISA, International Solar Alliance. What is this? We'll have a separate class tomorrow at 3 p.m. on this. International Solar Alliance. ठीक है, कल हम लोगों ने separate class लेंगे इस पर, because that is very important. We have seen ALET questions also on this. So we'll discuss it. ठीक है, separate class में. Now, so let's talk about it. So India faced double pressure over energy on Thursday as US President decided to back a bill mandating 500% tariff on countries buying Russian oil, and decide to withdraw from International Solar Alliance and other international organizations. Because International Solar Alliance is India-led initiative. That was an initiative of India. We will discuss it in tomorrow's class. Yes. So that is why, to signal this, 2015 maybe we had established International Solar Alliance with the help of France. So to signal actually this, that we are not happy with India, the USA had decided to withdraw from International Solar Alliance. So they are trying to build pressure on India that you should stop buying Russian oil. So they are trying, like they have passed a law. एक law है Russia sanction bill. Under this, whosoever buys oil from Russia, they will witness a 500% tariff. But this has not been passed. This will go to the US Congress. What is US Congress? US Congress, they are saying, है ना, Congress मतलब वो इंडिया वाली कांग्रेस पार्टी नहीं. US Congress is nothing but Parliament of USA. So they are not using the word parliament because we use the word parliament. England में parliament word use होता है, इंडिया में होता है. But US में they do not use the word parliament. Instead, they use the word Congress. ठीक है? So that is what we were talking about, है ना? The Russia sanction bill, which could be voted in Congress as early as next week. So this bill, this is a proposed bill. If this is passed by both the houses and the Donald Trump signs, of course, Donald Trump will sign it, the bill. In that case, of course, maybe up to 500% tariffs will be imposed on India. Currently, it has not been invoked. Like that has to be very crystal clear. So currently, we are having 50% tariff, and 25 plus 25, so 50% tariff. And first 25% tariff he imposed, then 25% more. So currently, we are seeing 50% tariff, but they are planning to increase up to 500%. ठीक है? तो आप देखोगे, this would give Trump tremendous leverage countries such as China, India, and Brazil to incentivize stop buying Russian oil. If this bill is passed, then Trump can impose further tariffs and all. तो रशिया का फॉसिल फ्यूल एक्सपोर्ट कहां होता है ना? Someone was asking, सर इंडिया के अलावा और कौन खरीदता है? देखो चाइना खरीदते हैं. You can see. Second is India. Third is Turkey. देखो यूरोपियन यूनियन भी खरीदते हैं. This is from 1st January 2023 to 5th January 2026. This is from the Hindu newspaper. Are you seeing it? Some person was asking, some student, कि सर यूरोप खरीदते हैं, देखो यूरोपियन यूनियन भी अच्छा खासा खरीद रहे हैं. नहीं, ये अभी एक्ट नहीं बना है. To the best of my knowledge, it has not become an act. If it becomes an act and it will be signed by the president, then in that case, it will be. हाँ, तो अभी जब ये बिल पास हो जाएगा तब ना चाइना पर कहीं भी लगाएंगे. हाँ, चाइना पे भी टैरिफ ऐसे लगा है. ये 500% वाला नहीं लगा है, but they have already imposed. China, आप सर्च करो ना, a lot of goods on China, like Chinese export products have witnessed tariffs last year. We are talking about India, but there are many other countries on which USA has imposed tariffs. Okay, we are talking about India because, of course, in our context, but of course, Donald Trump has put tariffs on many other countries. ठीक है, तो अब देखो रशिया का जो फॉसिल फ्यूल एक्सपोर्ट है, इट गोज टू चाइना, देन इंडिया, देन टर्की एंड इवन यूरोपियन यूनियन. व्हाई आई एम सेइंग, बिकॉज़ यूरोपियन यूनियन इज ऑन यूक्रेन साइड व्हेन इट कम्स टू रशिया यूक्रेन वॉर. ठीक है, इसलिए मैं बता रहा हूं. तो ये सब है ना. रशिया सैंक्शन एक्ट 84 co-sponsors and once brought to a vote. It will be passed smoothly once brought to a vote. Bipartisan bill means both the parties, Democrats and Republican, will most likely support it. तो हो सकता है बहुत आसानी से ये पास हो जाए if it comes, है ना. So it will be considered as a great legislation, etc. and all. तो अगर ये पास हो गया तो of course 500% tariff will be imposed on India. Let us see what will happen, है ना. फिर मैंने आपको बताया इंटरनेशनल सोलर अलायंस which was passed, which was made on the sideline of Paris climate agreement. They have decided to withdraw. We'll have a separate class tomorrow regarding इंटरनेशनल सोलर अलायंस. ठीक है, कल डिस्कस करेंगे इसको डिटेल में. ठीक, ऑलरेडी रिलायंस ने बहुत सारे इंपोर्ट्स रोके हैं, बहुत सारे पे प्रेशर डाला गया है ना. सो दैट इज व्हाट इज देयर. ये मैंने बताया था ट्रेड डेफिसिट, दैट यूएस चाइना के पास मोर देन $500 बिलियन का ट्रेड है. हाँ, इधर सैंक्शन एक्ट लिखा है बट वो पास नहीं हुआ है. आइडियल बिल लिखा होना चाहिए. यस, यू आर राइट. Suggesting it will be passed smoothly once brought to vote. क्या मतलब हुआ? ये एक्ट नहीं है टेक्निकली, अब बाईपार्टिसन बिल है. यहाँ गलती का बिल होना चाहिए टेक्निकली, है ना. जब पास हो गए प्रेसिडेंट साइन कर देंगे तब ना एक्ट बनेगा, नोटिफाई हो जाएगा तब. ठीक है, खैर. बट इट इज सेइंग दैट इट विल बी मोस्ट लाइकली वेरी इजीली पास्ड. बाईपार्टिसन दोनों पार्टीज, बोथ द पार्टीज आर सपोर्टिंग इन सेनेट एंड द अदर हाउस, इन द हाउस ऑफ रिप्रेजेंटेटिव. सो बहुत अगर पास करना हो तो बहुत आराम से पास करा देंगे. ठीक है, खैर. So, like, and I've told you that yes, US and China का $658 billion का trade है. Can you imagine? Even if both are fighting at the international front, US and China का biggest trade है $658.9 billion. But again, the problem is USA has trade deficit. It means China is exporting more to US as compared to exporting. जैसे ये X है और ये Y है. So X is greater than Y. ठीक है, China is exporting more to US and US is exporting less to China. So again, so US has trade deficit, which is not liked by Donald Trump. कि हम कम काहे sell कर रहे हैं, हम और बेचेंगे. So again, he started putting tariffs and all. And again, one of the reason was, of course, Russian oil, China is also buying. Okay, so if 500% law will come, then of course China will also suffer. But उससे US को भी suffering हुआ है, ऐसा नहीं है. Like of course, when you impose the tariffs, of course your country will also suffer. A lot of cases where actually the local people have suffered because of those trade tariffs. There's no doubt about that. ठीक है, आम जनता भी सफर करेगी यूएस के, ऐसा नहीं है. हाँ, फिर एक और बात ये हुई थी कि वी आर विटनेसिंग अ फ्री ट्रेड अग्रीमेंट. बिकॉज फ्री ट्रेड अग्रीमेंट, again you have to remove all the tariff and non-tariff barriers, and you have to remove all the trade barriers. But again the same thing, tariffs will help in trade deficit. देखो वो बताइए कि आप टैरिफ लगाओगे तो आपका एक्सपोर्ट नहीं आएगा. ट्रम्प हैज सेड कि देखो जैसे इनका एक्सपोर्ट ज्यादा आ रहा है तो ट्रम्प ने कहा कि हम रोक लगा देंगे. कैसे रोक लगाएंगे? टैरिफ लगा देंगे. I'll put tariff on Chinese products, so it will become costly, so it will become less competitive and lesser sold in market. अगर मैं टैरिफ, चाइना का प्रोडक्ट है $1 का, अब इसमें टैरिफ लगा दिए $1 का, so it will become $2 price in America. It will become costly and less sold in the market. But उसकी उल्टी बात भी तो है, when US will export, China will impose tariff. और ये हुआ भी कि चाइना ने भी टैरिफ लगा दिया यूएस के प्रोडक्ट पे. ठीक है, समझो, मतलब वो बात सही है. डोनाल्ड ट्रम्प सेड आई विल इंपोज टैरिफ सो दैट चाइना विल नॉट बी एबल टू एक्सपोर्ट टू अस. बट ऑन वाइस वर्सा, यूएस व्हेन यू सेल टू चाइना, चाइना विल आल्सो इंपोज टैरिफ, एंड दे हैव डन इट आल्सो. आपका भी महंगा हो जाएगा तो आपका भी एक्सपोर्ट घट जाएगा और जो था पहले से. सो ऑलवेज रिमेंबर, दिस इज कॉल्ड एज ट्रेड वॉर और व्हाटएवर. This will always lead to damaging both the countries. When you are imposing tariff on some other country's product without any reason, of course they will also put, and of course it will lead to hampering both the side. When Donald Trump is deciding to put tariff on Indian goods or Chinese good or any other good, their country will also suffer. India ने यूएस के टैरिफ प्रोडक्ट लगाया, आई नीड टू चेक इट कि टैरिफ लगाया कि नहीं. चाइना ने तो लगाया, ठीक है. खैर, तो ये हो गया. फिर अगेन देयर वाज फ्री ट्रेड अग्रीमेंट वेयर बीइंग साइंड. फ्री ट्रेड अग्रीमेंट होता है, टैरिफ नॉन टैरिफ बैरियर हट जाता. बट यूएस के कॉमर्स सेक्रेटरी ने कुछ और कह दिया. ही सेड कि सिंस पीएम मोदी डिड नॉट कॉल, दैट्स व्हाई वी डिड नॉट हैव फ्री ट्रेड अग्रीमेंट. बट इंडिया हैज क्लैरिफाइड. मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स स्पोक्सपर्सन मिस्टर रणधीर जायसवाल, ही सेड दैट नो, देयर वर 8 occasions ऑफ फोन कॉल ड्यूरिंग 2025. 8 बार बात हुई थी 2025 में, ठीक है, covering different aspect of wide ranging partnership, है ना. इसलिए ये कहना कि मोदी जी ने बात नहीं किया यूएस प्रेसिडेंट से, दिस इज नॉट करेक्ट. दैट इज व्हाट इंडियाज ऑफिशियल स्टैंड वाज. सो अगेन यूएस वाज ट्राइंग टू प्रेशराइज इंडिया. ठीक है, तो अभी हम और पास्ट में नहीं जा रहे, जैसे जीएसपी वगैरह भी हुआ था, बट दिस इज गॉट पास्ट. हम आपको 2-3 चीज बता देते हैं रिलेटेड विद दिस. नाउ जस्ट होल्ड ऑन फॉर 1 मिनट. अच्छा, एक चीज प्लीज टेल मी, in which year Bretton Woods agreement happened, and this led to the establishment of 3 organizations. What are those 3? Can anyone tell me? Yes, very good. I've taken a separate class on the YouTube channel, but yes, you can work. IMF, World Bank, not WTO. And what we call it as GATT. So this was again वही कि ट्रेड बैरियर्स को रिमूव करने के लिए था, टू रिमूव ट्रेड बैरियर्स. ठीक है, वर्ल्ड बैंक एंड आईएमएफ आर टुगेदर कॉल्ड एज ब्रेटन वुड ट्विंस. ठीक है, एंड आईएमएफ एंड वर्ल्ड बैंक बोथ आर हेडक्वार्टर्ड इन वॉशिंगटन डीसी. ठीक है, IMF वर्ल्ड बैंक के बारे में थोड़ा सा पढ़िएगा डिटेल में, है ना. GATT, currently we are concerned about GATT. It was not very successful, so it was later on replaced in 1995 by WTO, World Trade Organization, which is headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland. ठीक है, so general agreement on tariff and trade. Again वही बात है कि tariff और trade कैसे reduce. Tariff है ना, the more you reduce the tariff, the more there will be trade. जनरली दिस इज द रूल, है ना. लीगल एग्रीमेंट होता है, प्रमोट इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड बाय रिड्यूसिंग और एलिमिनेटिंग ट्रेड बैरियर्स, लिखा है ना, लाइक टैरिफ और कोटाज, है ना. कोटा मतलब क्या हो गया, आप कहते हैं हम इतना ज्यादा केजी, फॉर एग्जांपल इंडिया सेज दैट आई विल नॉट बाय मोर देन लेट्स से 1000 केजी ऑफ व्हीट फ्रॉम लेट्स से यूएसए. कोटा हो गया कि इससे ज्यादा हम नहीं खरीदेंगे, है ना. टैरिफ मींस यू आर पुटिंग इंपोर्ट टैक्स एक तरह का. तो दिस वाज एक्चुअली सब्सटेंशियल रिडक्शन ऑफ टैरिफ एंड अदर ट्रेड बैरियर्स. अदर ट्रेड बैरियर्स वही नॉन टैरिफ बैरियर्स हो गया, दैट यू हैव पुट सम रूल्स, है ना. ठीक है, दैट्स व्हाट यू शुड नो. बट ओवर पीरियड ऑफ टाइम वो ज्यादा चला नहीं. फिर 1995 में इट वाज रिप्लेस्ड बाय डब्ल्यूटीओ, वर्ल्ड ट्रेड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. ठीक है ना. तो अब आपको देखोगे जो जीएटीटी और डब्ल्यूटीओ के बहुत सारे राउंड ऑफ टॉक्स हुए थे, तो ये सब इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं, जो लास्ट के दो हैं, यूरोगोए राउंड ऑफ टॉक्स, है ना, एंड दोहा राउंड ऑफ टॉक्स, दीज टू आर रिलेटेड विद डब्ल्यूटीओ because Uruguay round of talks led to the establishment of WTO in 1995. And Doha round of talks भी जो है WTO को अंदर में ही हो रहा है regarding agriculture and many other things, है ना. अगेन ये दोनों में जो होता है ना, जैसे अभी करेंटली दोहा राउंड ऑफ टॉक्स का इसका कोई ये नहीं, रिजल्ट नहीं आया. अगेन दिस इज एक्चुअली डिस्प्यूट बिटवीन डेवलपिंग वर्सेस डेवलप्ड वर्ल्ड. एग्रीकल्चर का डिस्प्यूट, मेन एग्रीकल्चर का डिस्प्यूट होता है. वी हैव नॉट ओपनड आवर एग्रीकल्चर फॉर लाइक वी हैव नॉट कंप्लीटली ओपन की कोई भी हमको कुछ भी एक्सपोर्ट कर दे. वी हैव restricted the agriculture imports so as to protect our own agriculture farmers, है ना. नहीं तो सब बाहर से एक्सपोर्ट करके सारा गेहूं राशन सब कुछ ला देंगे तो हमारे यहाँ फार्मर्स तो बेचारे बर्बादी हो जाएंगे. सो डेवलपिंग वर्सेस डेवलप्ड, सो डेवलपिंग इंडिया इधर है, चाइना वगैरह सब इधर है, डेवलप्ड में यूएस है. सो वी आर एक्चुअली इन ऑपोजिट साइड्स इवन इन डब्ल्यूटीओ. ठीक है, सो ये सब चीजें, है ना. डब्ल्यूटीओ 1 जनवरी 1995, जेनेवा स्विट्जरलैंड में हेडक्वार्टर है. Again, the idea is वही चीज है कि world's largest international economic organization, global trade. So we have to reduce the trade barriers. That's the idea behind this, है ना. ये आपको पता होना चाहिए. And there are two concepts. One is called as MFN, most favored nation, and another is called as national treatment. These two terms are actually very much used in WTO. ये मैं आपको एक लाइन बताते हैं. If you are giving a trade advantage to one country, you should be giving it to all the countries except FTAs. For example, देखो ये क्या होता है, most favored nation. जैसे इंडिया ने कह दिया, सो WTO में लेट्स से देयर हाउ मेनी कंट्रीज, 164 है ना, कितना है अभी, 166. सो लेट्स से देयर 166 कंट्रीज एंड इंडिया हैज सेड कि ओके, इफ आई बाय फ्रॉम साउथ कोरिया, साउथ कोरिया इज लेट्स से आल्सो मेंबर ऑफ WTO एंड लेट्स से जापान इज आल्सो मेंबर. If I buy from steel from South Korea, I will only I will CLAT aspirant. We have taken a class on IMF and World Bank. You search it, Bretton Woods Agreement, career launcher, law entrance. You will get a separate video. उसमें हम लोगों ने डिस्कस किया है. ठीक है, I'm not going in that detail because we will get diverted. ठीक है. Okay, so let's talk about WTO. So मान लो there are 166 countries. तो इंडिया ने कहा किसी एक कंट्री को कि आई एम साउथ कोरिया को दैट ओके आई एम गिविंग यू अ फेवर, आई विल इम्पोज ओनली 5% टैरिफ or 5% GST on the products that are coming from South Africa and from South Korea, and from the rest of the countries I will impose 18% GST. ऐसा इंडिया नहीं कर सकता है. Why? Because this is called as most favored nation, MFN status. We have to treat all countries equally and not favor one of the countries. Although the name says opposite, most favored nation, आप किसी एक को दे रहे हो, but that's actually a misnomer. Most favored nation means you have to treat all WTO countries equally. If you are giving a favor to one of the WTO countries, you have to extend it to all. अगर आपने कहा कि हम 18% से घटा के 5% GST लेंगे आपके प्रोडक्ट पे, तो सब पर को बराबर से करना होगा. Unless and until you have done a separate free trade agreement. उसमें एक एक्सेप्शन ये है कि अगर आपने फ्री ट्रेड अग्रीमेंट अलग से दोनों कंट्री कर रखे तो अलग बात है, अदरवाइज यू हैव टू ट्रीट ऑल द कंट्रीज इक्वली. नेक्स्ट है नेशनल ट्रीटमेंट. नेशनल ट्रीटमेंट का मतलब होता है यू हैव टू ट्रीट कंट्रीज ऑफ ऑल द प्रोडक्ट्स इक्वली. हाँ, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल इंडिया में मान लो कुछ बन रहा है, जैसे मान लो कि सोलर लाइट बन रही है. ठीक है, सो इंडिया को कंपनी XYZ उसने बनाया, they made it for 100 rupees and you put it 5 rupees GST, तो ये 105 रुपए में बिकेंगे इंडिया में. ठीक है. Now the same solar light was imported from USA. USA आया, तो आपने कुछ अपना जो भी WTO के अंडर आपने अग्री किया है कि ठीक है हम अब 10% टैरिफ लगाएंगे, मान लो यू हैव अग्रीड. सो ये अगेन ये जो था यूएस से जो इंपोर्टेड प्रोडक्ट था वो भी लेट्स से $1 का था. आई एम जस्ट गिविंग एग्जांपल. ठीक है, तो $1 ₹90 चल रहा है आजकल ना. सो ये ₹90 का हो गया ना. यू इम्पोज 10% टैरिफ, तो ₹9 का टैरिफ हो गया, तो अभी हो गया ₹99. ठीक है. नाउ हियर यू हैव इम्पोज, नाउ ये इंडिया में आ गया अंदर. आफ्टर यू हैव इम्पोज द टैरिफ, नाउ इट हैज कम टू इंडिया. Once it has entered the Indian market, you have to treat this and this equally. एक बार इसको कहते हैं नेशनल ट्रीटमेंट. Means you have to treat your domestic product and the product that you have imported equally once the import taxes have been imposed. मतलब ये कि यहां पर आपने 5% GST लगाया तो यहां पर भी 5% GST लगा सकते हैं. You cannot say that I will import 18%, I will put 18% GST on imported products. बिकॉज वो सेम प्रोडक्ट है. अगर ये भी सोलर लाइट है और ये भी सोलर लाइट है, बोथ आर ऑफ सेम कैटेगरी, देन यू हैव टू ट्रीट इट बोथ इक्वली. इज इट क्लियर? ये क्लियर हुआ नेशनल ट्रीटमेंट? थोड़ा सा मैंने आइडिया दिया WTO का, लिटिल बिट आइडिया. इज इट क्लियर? आई होप. यस, सो दैट इज व्हाट आई वाज हाईलाइटिंग इट. तो मैंने आपको एक आइडिया दे दिया WTO का. एक दो और कॉन्सेप्ट होता है डंपिंग का. जैसे चाइना हैज बीन वेरी मच एक्यूज्ड ऑफ डंपिंग. देखो दो टर्म होता है, उसके लिए एंटी डंपिंग ड्यूटी लगाया था, वो भी एक तरह का इंपोर्ट टैक्स है, ये इंपोर्ट ड्यूटी है. होता है कि फॉर एग्जांपल लेट्स से चाइना हैज बीन वेरी मच एक्यूज्ड ऑफ डंपिंग टू इंडिया. जैसे मान लीजिए टॉयज है, इंडिया की टॉय की कंपनी है. मान लीजिए एक टॉय है, एक्स टॉय, वो ₹50 में बनाती है. सो चाइना विल एक्सपोर्ट द सेम एट ₹20 प्राइस. उससे क्या हो जाएगा? India's domestic manufacturing, domestic industry will get destroyed. This is called as dumping, that they are deliberately doing, selling it at a very cheaper rate, so that once the Indian companies will get destroyed, now they will be completely dependent on China for toys, for exporting toys. तो सबसे पहले कहते हैं कि एकदम कम दाम, एकदम कम कर दो, डंप कर दो इंडिया मार्केट में किसी और कंट्री के. जैसे चाइना वाले टॉयज का खिलौना, प्लास्टिक खिलौना एकदम सस्ते दाम में बेच दो पहले. Okay, sell it at very cheaper rate. What will happen? All the entire Indian toys industry will get destroyed. Once it will get destroyed, now China can sell at whatever price they want. So कहते हैं डंपिंग. तो उसको रोकने के लिए एंटी डंपिंग ड्यूटी अलाउड है WTO के अंदर. प्रोडक्ट इज बेटर टू अनदर कंट्री एट अ प्राइस लोअर देन इट्स नॉर्मल वैल्यू. कि जितना प्राइस कम में बेच दो ताकि उसकी इंडस्ट्री बर्बाद हो जाए. दैट्स कॉल्ड एज एंटी डंपिंग, है ना. नॉर्मल वैल्यू जो मार्केट लाइक, मतलब चाइना अपने मार्केट में उतना सस्ता नहीं बेचा, लेकिन इंडिया में एकदम सस्ता बेच रहा. दे आर सेलिंग एट वेरी चीपर प्रोडक्ट्स. इवन दे आर नॉट सेलिंग इन देयर ओन कंट्री विद सच एट सच अ चीपर प्राइस, so that the Indian domestic manufacturing will be destroyed. In that case, India imposes anti-dumping duty. कि ताकि भाई रोके रखें, उसको थोड़ा सा प्राइस बढ़ाओ. मान लीजिए बोला ₹20 का, तो इंडिया ने बोला कि चलो हम ₹10 का टैक्स लगा देते हैं, एंटी डंपिंग ड्यूटी, ताकि ₹30 में बिके. So that the domestic manufacturer will be able to sell at the same similar toys at the same price at ₹30. समझ में आया कि नहीं? Is it clear? These are some of the things. So anti-dumping is allowed in WTO. There are some rules regarding it. Even GATT में allowed था. Similarly और भी होता है countervailing duties and many other duties होता है, उस पर भी हम लोग नहीं जा रहे because that will be much longer. और अभी एक रिपोर्ट आई थी आज, today I saw that Trump has said that we will impose 25% tariff on those countries which are doing trade with Iran. So even India is also doing trade. Okay, तो आप देख सकते हो फॉरेन ट्रेड ऑफ ईरान में टर्की, ईरान, पाकिस्तान, ये सब भी. तो ईरान इंडिया का अच्छा खासा, टर्की इंडिया, है ना. सो इंडिया इज ऑल्सो वन ऑफ द लाइक ट्रेडिंग पार्टनर ऑफ ईरान. नॉट द लार्जेस्ट बट स्टिल वन ऑफ द ट्रेडिंग पार्टनर्स ऑफ ईरान. सो चाइना ऑल्सो बाइज 15% ऑयल फ्रॉम ईरान. बाकी 68% चाइना वेनेजुला का था ना, वेनेजुला एक्सपोर्ट कर रहा था 68% ऑफ इट्स प्रोडक्ट टू चाइना. सो इफ Venezuela, like the USA has put pressure on Venezuela, now in Iran. So in that case, China is getting affected. Yesterday class में we had discussed about Venezuela. Go and watch that, है ना. इस क्लास में हम लोगों ने बताया था. This will impact China also. China is buying huge oil from Venezuela. Similarly, they are buying from Iran also. ठीक है, तो अब क्या इंडिया को भी हो सकता है, बिकॉज वी हैव ऑलरेडी सीन 25 plus 25 50% tariff, and maybe if we are maybe we'll witness further 25% more because we are also doing some trade with Iran. और ईरान का एक बहुत फेमस पोर्ट है, इसका नाम एक्स है, आप बताइएगा. दिस हैज बीन रिपीटेड. 2021 क्लैट है पूछा था, 2026 लाइक 2026 क्लैट है ये पूछा था. व्हाट इज दैट पोर्ट? प्लीज आंसर मी इन द कमेंट सेक्शन. After the class is over, you are supposed to answer it. And what is the significance of that port? The answer you will find it here and here. 500% वाला भी पास नहीं हुआ है, ठीक है. So let's wait for that. And what is the significance of, yes, Chabar port, you're right. And what is the significance of that? This was mentioned in the option of this 2021 CLAT paper. Yes. Significance भी लिखिएगा. Once the class is over, you will be provided recorded video. So in the static comments, you have to write it. Not in the live chat, because live chat वाला खत्म हो जाता है comments. After the class is over, write it in the comment section. So we are stopping this class here. Now I'll be meeting you tomorrow with a new class on international solar lines. Thank you everyone. Thanks for watching.